different words for color. In English, there's 11 words. Some languages only have 2 or 3, 2, 3 or 4 color words. And what is interesting is that the color words that come first are always black and white, followed by red, right? Now, this is the reason why in Homer, they talk about the sea being wine red. And it's because they didn't yet have a word for blue. They hadn't yet categorized the world around them with language sufficiently that they recognized that blue was distinct from red, say. The thing is that in English, I know we're recording this in English, but there are other languages that have more colors than we do. In Russian, for example, they have a word for light blue and a word for dark blue. So I think that the word for light blue is голубой, and it's distinct. I mean, it's sort of like pink, effectively like pink, but for blue. Now, the thing is, you could just say, oh, well, this is very interesting. They've just got different words, different categories, essentially. But actually, there is some evidence that it changes the way that people actually experience color when they have a richer set of categories in order to distinguish between them.
Yeah.
One particularly famous experiment in the 60s was where they arranged colors in a triangle, and they got English speakers, they got Russian speakers, they got people from around the world to try and match the shade at the top with the one that it was closest to in the bottom. And it turned out that Russian speakers were faster when those shades at the top matched with their language boundaries, when one was light and one was dark, while the English speakers basically showed no difference. If it's blue, it's blue, it's blue. It doesn't matter. There's no difference. But I think what's interesting about this is not saying are Russian speakers better than English speakers at matching shades of blue. Instead, it's suggesting that having separate words actually helps people distinguish things more quickly. That language categories can actually influence how we perceive differences in the world and our processing speed.
That's right. Yeah, I mean, I definitely think our relationship to the tomato has been affected, at least in some small part, by the debate over what word we should use. And when you have words for things, you've put a handle on an otherwise kind of chaotic part of reality, and now you can manipulate it and you can think about it and you can control it in ways that you couldn't otherwise.